Welcome and thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of Tips from the Octopus's Garden. In episode 3, I'll go through your choice of charcoal and seasoning. So here we go on to, when we talk about charcoal, we'll talk about charcoal briquettes and lump charcoal. Starting out with briquettes, these are made of sawdust and leftover woods that are burnt down, same way that lump charcoal is made. There's some additives added, but dollar for dollar, I've found that charcoal briquettes are the best value you'll find. By one of two brands, Kingsford or Royal Oak, period. Cheap charcoal yields bad results, so do not settle for cheap charcoal briquettes. You'll be disappointed. Do know that charcoal briquettes can heat up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and lump charcoal will take you to up to 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit. Lump charcoal is made with pure wood with no additives, and the purists swear by it. They'll claim that they can clearly taste the difference. I personally have not experienced much of a taste difference, but I have no reason to doubt that someone else's palate can discern that difference. And if you're cooking prime grade beef or some other specialty, it may be worth the extra dollars to use lump charcoal. I do want to point out for you, though, that lump charcoal can cost double that of charcoal briquettes. And as I grill quite often, I use charcoal briquettes because saving pennies become dollars, and over time, dollars become real money. And that gives us a little more money in the pocket to spend on other accompanying tasty treats that we enjoy along with cooking. That said, I've had some good luck using lump charcoal with certain cuts of meat, and have had the success of unbelievable sears in using it. My experience with lump charcoal is with the Cowboy brand, but as I'd said, this is truly a premium. I doubt that there is a bad brand of lump charcoal out there, but there are plenty of cheap charcoal briquettes out there, and they can be mistakenly bought. So stay aware of what you're buying and stay with Kingsford or Royal Oak. Buy wisely. Now, after the food, charcoal is the biggest expense you'll undertake over the course of your grilling journey. And since I'm not above finding a good deal, I do use my old pickle jar approach throughout the year so that I have extra cash stored away for the Memorial Day, the Independence Day, and Labor Day holidays. As I've found that when those holidays roll around, the home improvement, big box stores, and large grocery stores often have deeply discounted sale prices on charcoal. And if kept dry, charcoal does not go bad. Its shelf life is near infinity. And if you're a serious grill meister, you'll want to prepare for the summer. And at Memorial Day, restock and arrange what you have left and the new stuff in a last in, first out routine. Do the same around July 4th. And then, like a squirrel with nuts, use the Labor Day sale to build up your surplus to last you throughout the winter months. During winter months, charcoal in stores can be somewhat sparse, so you really want to plan ahead and make sure that you have enough saved away. And frankly, nothing is as invigorating as grilling in the snow. I really mean that. Now, let's talk about your spice pantry. If you prefer a naked steak, you're damn near family to me. But for those of you who prefer a seasoned steak, I found that my Montreal seasoning adds a really nice flavor to steaks and beef roasts. There are many quality brands of spices out there. I've chosen to show the McCormick and Company brand, as they've been doing it right since the late 1880s, and their offering is broad and available in most stores. Besides, I believe that I have never met someone with the surname McCormick that I did not like and like a lot. So, tip of the hat to McCormick and Company. But onward. The rub is really an area for you to play around, and grilling and barbecuing competitions are won and lost here. So you can add a lot of flavor in this stage. Tip was given to me, and I'm passing it on, is that Old Bay is a wonderful base for making your own dry rubs. Old Bay has within it celery salt, black pepper, crushed red pepper, paprika, and a few other magic touches that give you a really solid and balanced platform on which to build. From there, you can add some garlic, maybe some dry mustard, a touch of brown sugar. Uh, those will help you add different flavors to your meats. In addition, I've found that cinnamon in small amounts can add an incredibly extra layer of flavor and really bring just great taste out in your meats. You'll probably want to create and store a few different rubs. Create one that goes good with beef, do one for pork, another for poultry, and probably yet another for seafood. Play around, have some fun with it. One last tip in this area that I want to pass along is I've found that using olive oil before adding seasoning to any meat that's going to be directly over a fire is a good move. Olive oil protects the surface of the meat from overburning. Olive oil will also drip onto the coals and create short-term flames, and these are a real friend to searing. Nothing is better than a solid sear on a nice piece of pork. As soon as the olive oil that drips burns off, the flame goes down, so gives you that nice quick flash. Olive oil also raises the surface temperature of meats and gets you to that desired sear earlier in the cooking process, which locks in more flavor. Optional rubs and sauces, store-bought rubs. Some are pictured there. I've had success using these. There are literally hundreds of pre-built rubs on the market, and on weeknights they're really hard to beat. If you don't have time to mix together your own rub or don't have previous rub created and stored, go ahead and use them and enjoy them. But when you have time, it's nothing better than making your own rub. On to barbecue sauces. To me, barbecue sauce is overrated, and maybe it's because I find ketchup to be a damn near revolting condiment, frankly. To me, it's little more than a cheap blanket of sugary flavor that completely overtakes the flavor of whatever I pour it on. So, really not a big fan of ketchup. And I believe a good Grillmeister works too hard to build flavors to have them buried in sugary sauces. But, to each their own. If you're smoking or roasting and doing a low and slow over indirect heat, perhaps adding some white sugar or brown sugar to your rub will help create a layer of caramelization that can add nice flavor. But be mindful that sugar burns at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so you really want to avoid anything sugary going on meats that are going to go directly over a flame and be over a flame for any period of time. If you use it and you don't take care, you're going to wind up torching your piece of meat, and you'll have a hunk of wood that you will not enjoy. So be careful with sauces. When I use them lightly and generally only on pork and chicken. That said, I will tip my hat to Christopher B. Stubbsfield, who opened his first pit restaurant in Lubbock, Texas in 1968 and began bottling his original recipe sauce. And I'm a fan of this because it has only 4 grams of sugar per 32-gram portion. And it can lightly complement meats and poultry and add a single level of flavor without dominating. When you're in the store and you're looking at barbecue sauces, do yourself a favor and look at the sugar content in most bottles of barbecue sauce. Some of the leading and more popular brands have 16 to 18 grams of sugar per 32 gram serving. So over half of their weight is in sugar. To me, that's just too much. Paul Newman's barbecue sauce I found is enjoyable. It's a balanced sauce. It's about 7 grams of sugar per 32-ounce serving, and that's about as far as you want to go if you crave sugary sauces. God love you. Good luck with it. And if you're going to go that route, I suggest saving yourself money and pick up an inexpensive bottle of trusty old open pit. It does carry a nice tangy flavor, and even an open pit only goes up to about 12 grams of sugar per 32-ounce serving. That's my take on sauces. And when you're going to go forth and smoke, there are different woods that you want to use for different types of meat. At the end of the day, if you follow this chart, you'll do well. Smoking can be tricky. It's something that you'll become better at over time. My caution would be go with light smoke early in your smoking journey. And as time goes on, if you want to add additional smoke and have deeper smoke flavors, go ahead. But inch your way forward on that front because smoke can very easily overtake flavor and really dominate and ruin, something that you've spent 6, 7, 8, 10 hours cooking, and all you're tasting at the end is smoke. So you really want to be careful. Suggestion that I had from a champion is down there in the bottom uh, box. Champion barbecue winner, and they said use it early in the smoking process. Use your wood early in the smoking process, and do it mildly. And get that level of flavor there established, and then let the meat cook because no one wants to be tasted nothing but wood. Good advice. I have followed it and had very enjoyable meals throughout. Thanks for tuning in. And on the next episode, we'll cover building the perfect fire. Take care.